It's a great privilege to be here, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to share my thoughts, experience, and what I've picked up over the years of working within AI and governance. My journey in AI started in 2014. I've been in technology since 1999, and my career started a bit longer because I started young. So I have over 30 years. Actually, started when I was 15, so I have about 35 years experience. And when I say career, I started running a business, and from business, I went to being employed. One of the lessons I've learned is that at every sphere of what you do need governance. There has to be guide rails and there has to be rules. So today I will be speaking on the topic or subject of from principle to practice, building a pragmatic and prosperous West African AI governance framework. Due to my work with AI in Nigeria and some sister entities that I'm also either co-founder or sitting on the board, I do have sort of a good view of what's happening across the African AI landscape beyond what you will read online. I do have a sort of behind the scene overview. So that has sort of informed this speech. So I want to thank everyone from joining from West Africa, across West Africa and beyond. It's a pleasure to be with you on this second day of the AI Policy Summer School. If there's one thing I have learned from working across AI policy, entrepreneurship, and transforming public sector within different parts of the world, it's this. A conversation can start anywhere, but real change has to be designed. I was aware that there's been conversations about principles, and today our task is to move these principles into practice and to co-create a West African, shared governance roadmap. I want to begin by saying that we are making history, and we're not just talking about AI. We are here to deliberate and agree on how West Africa should govern and benefit from artificial intelligence in decades to come. This is not something to be sneered at. It's a golden moment. AI governance matters a lot, and it matters now. As you are aware, and I'm sure everybody knows, that AI is shaping every sector from finance to insurance, health, education, agriculture, security, public administration. But AI also brings new responsibilities. From my experience of sitting with regulators, with CEOs, ministers, or leaders from the academia, the same thing kind of cuts across like a thread. What almost everyone is saying is there's a need for clarity, there's a need for structure, for guardrails, and governance that can be trusted. As you know, and will agree, that without clarity, innovation is quite dangerous and risky. When there's no structure, investors hesitate, and without trust, adoption stalls. So today, the work we are doing today is not only urgent, it's foundational. As we look at a West African framework, it has to be practical, not just aspirational. And you will agree with me that our region does not lack ideas. It does not lack multiple frameworks from ECOWAS to organizations that is regional to West Africa. So what I want us to look at today as we co-design is that we need to look at three realities. And the first is that governance must solve real problems. So when we talk about artificial intelligence in West Africa, we need and must be talking about increasing food security using predictive agriculture tools, strengthening financial inclusions, improving healthcare diagnostics, enhancing border security, modernizing education, optimizing public finance and revenue pathways, ensuring frameworks that are being developed must be led and tied to these outcomes. Otherwise, they will just be mere documents and will not go beyond the document stage. The second is that governance in AI must reflect our values: fairness, transparency, accountability, and human dignity are not imported concepts. These are values that's been within Africa for centuries. Any governance in AI must reflect this. And the third is governance must be a catalyst for innovation, not a blocker. Regulation must not be a barrier. It should be a platform, a springboard for startups, researchers, and governments to have a safe experiment space. So, the opportunity before us in West Africa today is that if we govern right, if we govern artificial intelligence rightly, we will unlock a unified digital market of over 400 million people. Imagine cross-border data flows, sharing of AI standards, and enabling trade across Africa regionally, in West Africa with AI. We'll have a talent ecosystem that is unrivaled across Africa. We will have hubs, talent communities across academia, public sector, policymakers, and we will have multiple hubs and sort of communities of practice that will create a very large AI pipeline. The confidence of investors and global partners will be sky high, and governance, as you know, gives investors confidence. When there is certainty, there will be more capital inflows, and capital inflows builds innovation, which you will agree with me, our region needs urgently. And what will happen as well is we have more capable, data-driven governance and government in the public sector. Imagine what AI would do to ministers and agencies to work faster, smarter, and be more accountable. Imagine the population growing their trusts and reliance more on public services, given the governance of AI enabling the outputs from public servants. I want to talk about 5 anchors that we need for today's work. I'll list them out and then I'll explain. We need infrastructure for governance, data governance and sovereignty, risk-based regulations, sandboxes for innovation, and talent development. In terms of governance infrastructure, you need clear mandates, the roles clearly defined, enforcement pathway clear to those that are enforcing. And in terms of leadership, it has to be clear who leads, who coordinates, who monitors. For data governance and sovereignty, we need to think, how do we protect data? How do we share data and leverage data responsibility across borders? As we reference international standards in terms of risk-based regulation, the high-risk use cases must have very strong and capable oversight. Low-risk use cases should be one of the first kind of pilot areas to have room for innovation. And in terms of looking at innovation sandboxes, there has to be safe innovation sandboxes that allows the private sector and the public sector, startups, ministries, researchers, to be able to test the idea safely and scale responsibly. There was a report a few months ago, not long ago, from McKinsey, that the whole of Africa has less than 500 practitioner level AI talents or professionals. There is a need to sort of work on developing AI capacity. Upskilling and training across public sector and private sector, there are things that should be actioned and worked on collectively. This is our moment. Let me say clearly, and I'm sure you agree with me, West Africa has the talents, we have the ambition. What we need now is coordinated governance. As someone working deeply across the ecosystem, both from Nigeria to West Africa to across Africa and even globally, I see in West Africa a real hunger to build something exceptional. And let me challenge you, participants in the summer school, you are part of the architects building this architecture. So as you engage today, I have one request. Let us design boldly. Do not write frameworks that will just sit on the shelf. Let us write framework that government ministries can apply next quarter, immediately. Let us write framework that give investors confidence. Let us write frameworks that citizens can trust. As I close, the journey from principle to practice is the journey from potential to prosperity. If you build a governance system that is practical, inclusive, and rooted in African realities, because our realities are really different, then West Africa will not only participate in the global AI economy, we will shape it. We already have some success story, some unicorn from West Africa. We can create AI unicorns from this region with the right governance. What we're talking about is not rocket science. It's been done using other technology. It can be done using AI with the right governance, with the right structure, with the right collaboration, practicalities. This will be a reality. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you very much.